welcome to another episode of Inspired Voices. My name is Oliver Riera, and this is Chris Blacknall.
Yes. Everybody also know me as Huncho. To introduce myself, I'm basically an entrepreneur, father, husband, best friend. I own a couple businesses as well, as far as mobile detailing. I'm a GC, general contractor. I basically go in and do like your Starbucks, your Walmarts, your Home Depots, stuff like that.
Okay,
So,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Like redoing their stuff. Or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that?
So like if, for example, if Starbucks espressos was to go down, me and my guys would go in and fix them. If Target registers was to break, the belts, anything, we'd go in and fix those as well. So,
So you're just a handyman.
yeah. So,
More than a handyman, but you work with hands.
Yeah. Long story short, I learned a lot of this stuff as a kid. I don't like to use the word stepdad. Because this guy has been more than a stepdad. He's basically been like my father since, I was small, since I can remember.
Yeah.
Growing up, single family home, my biological father was in the picture, but he really wasn't in the picture. I seen a lot of things that, him and my mom went through, especially a lot of things that he put my mom through. So
how young were you?
Probably about 6-7 years old. So,
Okay, gotcha. So it took like a little bit of an impact on you.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's like the delicate age.
It bothered me a lot throughout life, So seeing everything that she went through, trying to raise 5 kids, it was hard for her, So my stepdad came into the picture.
Was that like a few years later or something like that?
Yeah,
or?
a few years later. So basically, I use the word trailer park. I'm a trailer park baby, which is basically a mobile home baby. That's where I grew up, which is in Frankenton, and I went to school in Lewisburg, graduated from Lewisburg High School. But
was it tough to live in the trailer park community, or is it just like what you knew?
You kids, man, we make the best of our situations.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? This was back in the day. I'm an '80s baby as well, so we made the best. This is before technology is what it is now. We would be outside playing, riding our bikes, jump roping, playing hide and seek,
Get into a lot of fights.
Yeah, a lot of fights. But it was fun. We was kids. But back to my dad. Seeing everything that he put my mom through, it kind of bothered me up until like 2 years ago. I had to go back in and relearn myself and everything, man.
Oh, interesting.
But all of the the abuse and everything that I was seeing and stuff at a young age, having to run and go get the neighbors and stuff like that. So it kind of
I feel like that could go both ways, right? That could go either you don't want to fight or don't want to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
When seeing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or you become the fighter.
Yeah.
And like always fighting and stuff like that.
So it made me. It's funny that you say that because it made me a fighter, and it also made me have trust issues as well. Like I said, seeing my mama struggle and everything, and my dad doing all that stuff that he did. And, not try to make him out to be a bad guy, but as a kid, you don't fully understand these things, and, until you get older. But she went through a lot of abuse, and I salute her for, raising us the best that she could, single mom. As I was saying, we lived in the mobile home park, which I say trailer park, which my stepdad was the owner, which I call him my pops. I don't like to say stepdad. Right. I call him my pops. So my pops was the owner of the mobile home park, and he still is to this day. I guess now he kind of retired. He's like the overseer of everything because he started selling off stuff as well. But when he came into my mom's life, I had, I still had resentment towards, like, you're not my dad, And I didn't have trust for guys or just people in general. So
what about your siblings?
My siblings, I'm the oldest. I'm the
Okay.
oldest out of 5. So
Gotcha.
I got to see a lot of things that they didn't get to see. So it kind of, bothered me with, throughout school, in which, my mom never knew, because she asked me one year as her birthday gift, because me and her will bump heads as well, because she used to always tell me, you remind me so much of your dad, because, my attitude and stuff like that. And I was just one of those people that I just didn't care about anything. I had basically just gave up on life, which is, it's sad, but it was just the things I had to go through to get to where I am now. Be, to be able to be a loving husband, a father, and everything.
And plus your siblings, they just don't understand it as much as you do.
Yeah,
going through.
So
all
they
that.
didn't. I don't even know if they remember any of this stuff. I remember one incident, and like I said, I'm not trying to make my parents or my mom or anybody, feel bad or have to revisit this stuff, because it bothered me for so many years. And I appreciate you having me on your platform, and I can actually introduce myself to you guys and kind of give you guys a whole full understanding of who I am, and how I progressed to the man that I am today.
Sure.
So I appreciate you for that.
No problem.
But seeing everything that she went through, as far as with my biological dad, and then even before she got with my pops, she dated other guys, and it was always constant the same thing. You got to also understand, this is in the late 80s to the early 90s. Through that area,
Is it like kind of like going through like one relationship after another?
Yeah. So I wouldn't even say relationship after relationship. It was just the abuse that I saw that at a young age. I remember one incident to where one of the guys that she was dating, he pulled all of us into the bathroom, and he basically said, I'm going to kill all of you guys. And he picked me up, and he put me on his shoulder and said, this is the only one that's going to be able to survive, which was me. But I just seeing him and, revisiting that spot, it put a bad memory in my brain.
I wonder why he picked you.
I don't know.
I guess because maybe you're the oldest or something.
I mean, I was just one of those kids, man. And I'm still this way to this day, that I just don't care. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, life is what it is. You have to make the best of it, and I'm blessed. You get what I'm saying? I should have been killed a long time ago. You get what I'm saying? Because I got involved in the streets real heavy. Called myself selling drugs, and the guy that basically taught me how to sell drugs.
You think going into that kind of lifestyle is because you were wanting to feel accepted?
What it is, I always wanted to feel accepted by my mom. I always wanted to feel accepted.
Yeah, so
by
you weren't
my
like
mom.
getting it at home; you got it from the streets, kind of thing.
I wouldn't say that, because at the end of the day, it was my life. I was going to do what I wanted to do with it. I always wanted my mom to, not saying that I wanted her to accept me as her child, but just accept the accomplishments that I had made in life.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So me and her, we would bump heads and everything. And, I started, once I seen my pops coming to my mom's life, and, I'm like, okay, here we go again. I'm about to have to see the abuse and stuff. But actually it turned out, he was a great dude. And I wasn't trying to allow him to be that great dude because of everything that I had seen and everything.
Yeah, you were probably pushing his buttons, right?
Yeah, like, me and him would bump heads. We would get into, altercations. He actually shot me, He shot me with a BB gun, but still, I had the pump BB guns.
Yeah.
I had pumped this thing, I know, at least 50 to 60 times, and they had some power with that. So he ended up shooting me with a BB gun one time. And
lesson learned.
Yeah, but just seeing how he treated my mom and everything, I started like paying attention to him more and more. And me and him used to get into altercations as well because of everything that I had previously seen and everything. And I never forget, I told him, like, you're not my real dad. You can't tell me what to do. And that hurt him because he had kids of his own, and he was, willing to step in and actually be a father figure for me and my siblings. And I was hot-headed. I wasn't trying to listen to anything he was saying, anything he had going. I'm trying to figure out life on my own. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm at 16 years old to where, I end up moving home. But before I talk about that, like I said, he owned a mobile home park, and on the weekends it wasn't, going, to hang out with your friends, running behind no girls or none of that. He would take us to work with him, and he would, teach us stuff like how to, lay carpet, how to do sheetrock, how to do plumbing.
Were you accepting of that?
I was very accepting of it. I was very accepting of it because at the end of the day, I like money, and in order to have nice things in life, you need money. And I looked at it as it was free schooling. It was free. I didn't have to go to school for it.
So you were aware of that?
Yeah, I was aware of that. I already knew that
because you were coming from the streets, also, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, like people try and
So
stick
my
to the
parents didn't know I was selling drugs and stuff like that. Right. But the dude that basically taught me how to sell drugs and everything, he got mad at me, and because I started making more money than he was making, and then some of his clients became my clients. At the end of the day, this was a dog eat dog world. Yeah. So, and I wasn't like no middleman. I wasn't trying to buy stuff from you to serve to other people and stuff. Like, I always just been a hustler. But he ended up turning on me. He ended up setting me up. So that's part of the reason why I have this tattoo, to say trust no one. Because he was supposed to be my right hand man. He taught me, the game, and he ended up turning on me all of, because of the dollar.
How did he set you up? So
basically,
was it like set up as in like you went to jail kind of thing? Or?
No, it wasn't like I went to jail. It basically, they basically kind of robbed me and everything.
Okay,
they beat, the crap out of me and stuff. So basically, I pulled up into this neighborhood, and we was in Bunn, North Carolina. We used to have a trailer park out there, which is still there to this day. And we used to just, we say trap. We was trapping on the path, and I had a old Oldsmobile, man, with like one headlight, but it got me around. You get what I'm saying? It got me to where I needed to be, because out here in North Carolina, whether you know it or not, you need a vehicle out here. Yeah. So I ended up going down the path, and I turned my lights off, and I seen another vehicle that was sitting out in the yard. I was actually going down there to drop off some drugs, and when I got out of the car, I seen the guy that I thought was my friend. I seen him on the porch, as I proceeded to get out the car. Like, these guys just, they bum rushed me and just start beating the crap out of me, man. And they took my book bag, and they just basically left me for dead, man. So I ended up going to the hospital. I had a punctured kidney. I called my brothers and I called my family, and then, I said, man, I'm ready to go back home. This was like, I was like 16, 17.
Yeah. That changed your life pretty much right there. Well, sort of, right?
It didn't really change my life, man, because when you in that type of life, you know what come with it. You get what I'm saying? Sure. But I just didn't see, this guy turning on me, because I considered him as a friend. He basically taught me everything that, I knew as far as, the drug game.
Gotcha.
But would I ever go back and do it? Probably not, man. For what I know now, it was all pointless and dumb. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. It wasn't worth it.
I mean, it creates a hard shell.
Yeah, sure. It creates a hard shell. Something that I don't never want to revisit.
Yeah. Still not worth doing.
Nah, it's not worth doing, man. But I feel like this. I say it like this. If you gonna sell drugs, and I'm not recommending it,
right,
but at least have goals set in place. Like, I didn't have no goals. I was just doing it just to be doing it, because I wanted to feel accepted by my mom. You get what I'm saying? Having the money, having, nice things. All I wanted was for her to say, she loved me and cared about me. And I'm not saying that she didn't love me and cared. I just wanted to hear it. You get what I'm saying? As a kid, you wanted to hear those things.
Absolutely.
And stuff.
I mean, I didn't say, and my dad never said like, I love you until I was like 21 or something like that.
But I remember one incident as well, which my whole family know about this, but I've always been a hustler, man. I used to sell blank CDs, man. This is when CDs used to be like the thing, you used to bootleg CDs and stuff about bootleg CDs. So anytime I would see a new movie that would come out on TV, I didn't have the equipment to go and download the the DVDs or CDs and stuff, but I just had that hustle mentality. So I would go to different areas that I knew I didn't live in and stuff. So I would just go into like Dollar General, Family Dollar, and just buy blank, DVDs and just write names on them and stuff of previous commercials that I had seen of the new movies that was coming out. And, I would sell them, and, I would hurry up and leave the area. And then I remember my cousin, he had a dog that just had puppies, and his dog was like a little mutt, but pit bulls was a big thing. So I'm like, dang, his dog just had puppies. I'm like, yo, we could go and sell them puppies before they get bigger, and people start to realize that they not pit bulls. So we went and sold all the puppies and stuff, claiming that they was pit bulls and stuff like that. It was just that hustle mentality that I had of, trying to get quick, fast, easy money. Wanting to feel
that ever bite you in the ass?
Yeah, because some people, I was well known in my city because I was a star athlete. I played football, which I end up, quit playing because, I was a father at an early age. So I picked up a legitimate job then once I had my first kid. So I was like, it's time for me to man up and take care of my responsibilities because, mind you, I still had this image of how my father had did my mother. So picked up my first job, and I basically left that life alone.
And this was after you had your first kid?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
let's talk about that a little bit. So like you had your kid at what, 16?
I had my first kid about 16 years old.
How was that? How was the news?
To
reveal
it to my mom, that was the most scariest part, was revealing it to her. At the end of the day, and the Bible say that you should honor your mother and your father. And
what do you think was going to happen?
I don't know what I didn't know what I was, because I wasn't concerned about getting kicked out because I'm feeling like I'm a man now. You get what I'm saying? My pops was in the picture and everything, but me and him wasn't seeing eye to eye like that. Like I really, my main thing was I didn't want to hurt my mom.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? That was the main thing. I didn't want to hurt her, and I didn't want to bring shame to the family. Not with some of the stuff that I was doing growing up was, shameful to the family because some of that stuff ended up coming back to bite me because some people, knew who my family was and stuff. And I believe this one lady had said something to my mom at work and was like, your son sold me this, blank DVD, won't not known it, da-da-da-da. But, nobody never got their money back. So it won't really no consequences. Like my mom didn't like whoop us or nothing like that. Like she would just, raise her voice, but she wouldn't like, whoop us or anything like that. But
so what was the first thought when your baby was born?
I almost fainted, man, seeing all that blood and seeing the afterbirth and everything, man. But I was happy, man. I was happy to see my son born. Which he's 18 now. So
wow.
Yeah. So
it's wild.
Seeing him born, man, was amazing. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like I was a perfect father because I wasn't. That was part of me having to go back in and, relearn myself these last 2 years because, I still was dealing with myself. And not only that, I was moving at a fast pace to where I was like one relationship after another relationship. So I didn't never really have that quality time to myself that I actually really needed it.
Yeah. It's amazing how like the relationship in the family can determine the relationship outside the family.
Yeah.
And like how that rolls and stuff like that.
So me and his mom, we're not together or anything like that, but we definitely co-parent. Anytime, anything any of my kids need, they already know I'm right there. I'm gonna provide. I'm gonna do any and everything that I can. But in the beginning, because I was still trying to get through high school at the same time with all of this stuff going on. So basically, like my senior year in high school, I didn't play any football. I basically just, I worked to try to provide for my son the best way that I knew how. And I never forget, as soon as I graduated high school, my son mom went straight and put me on child support. So
damn,
I'm working a good job, and I mean, back then, you know, having a job that's paying you $14-15 an hour, and we talking like, you know, we 2024 right now. We talking like almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Back then, there was money to me.
Right. Yeah.
You know, $14-15 an hour. You know, I'm looking at, you know, $1,200 every week, and I was working at a concrete job. That's the job is still out there in Franklinton, North Carolina. It's called Lindsay Precast, and I was the rebar manager. So, you know, we had our name on our little work uniforms and everything. So, and you know, they had a company that would come in and wash our uniforms. So and they had all of the benefits and everything that you wanted: 401k, medical, eye vision,
especially
dental.
when you have a kid.
Yeah, so it had everything, and I never forget it. Once I got hit with those child support papers,
that money was cut in half.
Yeah, and I try to stick it out as long as I could, man. But not trying to downplay, you know, my son, mom, or anything, but she money hungry, man. It's, you know, I always been that hustler. I always had money. I always did what I had to do to get money. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. You were willing to work for it.
Yeah, I was willing to work for it. You know,
even if it was illegal. Sometimes.
Yeah, I was willing to work for it. Like, I still to this day I have that same hustler mentality, but I'm doing it the honest way. So that's why I'm able to go back and revisit all of these places, because I had to go back in and learn myself. And you know, you reap what you sow. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you spent some time with your kid, obviously growing up. As a baby, as a toddler, as a kid. And did you find yourself having the same habits as maybe your dad did, or
my only habit,
people that came in your life?
The only habit that I have that I can honestly say that my dad have is the attitude problem. It's like, once you push us to a certain point, it's no talking. It's we ready to crash out.
Right.
And
red line.
I don't want to ever have to get to that point, because it's not going to be good for whoever is around, and it's going to take an army to put me down. I'm just going to be honest. Like, my family has certain situations where they'll end up calling me, and then I have to go and deal with it. But I haven't like really been pushed to that point to where there's no return. And that's my dad. He's serving he's doing time right now for a murder. I'm gonna give you an example of how bad our attitude is.
All right.
It's funny now, but all right. So my brother, my dad and his brothers, you know, they would play basketball. My uncle, everybody go to his house on the weekends to play basketball. Even still to this day, like all of the big times go to his house and play basketball. If you from Franklinton to Raleigh to Fayetteville, all of the big time basketball players that's getting ready to go to the next level, everybody plays at my uncle's house.
Okay.
So this one incident, my dad, my uncles, which is my dad's brothers, everybody's playing basketball. I guess something happened to where my dad got fouled, and they started a little argument. He got mad and he shot his brother in the leg.
Damn.
Yeah, over basketball.
Right.
So my attitude is not like that.
Right.
As far as petty as that, but that's the only thing I would say that I have in similar. So I have similar to my dad. It's my attitude, which I know how to deal with mine.
Right. It seems like you've grown from that.
Yeah, I'm grown from that. I'm very mature now. But I give it all to my pops. To my step pops. I give it all to him, because let's go back a little bit. So I was going to work with him, on the weekends. We was pick up, we was the own in that community that he had like 200 and some mobile homes, and it was 2 of them. So we would go out, pick up all the people trash from their trash cans and go to the landfill and dump it. We would go in and, do the plumbing, do the electrical, do the sheetrock, do the painting. We did everything. New appliances. We did everything out there. He taught me and my brothers how to do this stuff. And I'm not really thinking nothing about it. I'm just thinking about the money. I'm just gonna go do it and just get the money then I can go out and relax. But he would keep us out there all weekend, sun up to sundown, working. And not only that, he raced cars as well, which he still have those 2 race cars. Now he's waiting on one of us to, start racing them. So we would finish working in the mobile home park, leave there, and go straight to the racetracks to watch him race and everything. And as a kid, you're not really thinking about that stuff. You rather be out hanging out with your friends, trying to enjoy, run behind some girls. But he wasn't allowing us to do that. Mind you, I still, I had my first child, so I'm still, still learning this stuff, not knowing that eventually I'm gonna end up needing this stuff. Because I learned so much from him that when I end up receiving those child support papers at the job, and I start looking at my paychecks, mind you, I tried to ride this out the best way that I knew how, but those paychecks was getting little and little and little, and I'm working overtime, and I went from making $1,200 to every week to like $200 to $400 a week, and I'm like, man, I can't survive off this. No. So I end up quitting. The job, and it hurt because I really love that job. I'm gonna say this: anytime you working somewhere, and if you love it and it don't feel like work, that's what you're passionate about. Right. And I was passionate about doing that concrete. We would make burial vaults, septic tanks, and stuff like that, and I love going to work. But once that child support kicked in, and I wasn't running away from the child support, it was just, I'm still young. How you expect me to survive off $400 a week? I'm a unexperienced driver, so insurance is sky high. I'm driving a hoopty, so I'm barely making ends meet. You get what I'm saying? But I'm sturdy. I'm sturdy, learning. So I ended up quitting there, and I want to say I started working at Pizza Hut, which was the worst decision I could have ever done. But I'm thinking, okay, at least I could be a waiter and wait on tables and get those tips. That's cash money. Yeah. So I tried that out for a while. I ended up quitting, and I quit.
How long is a while?
I probably worked there for like 2 months. Okay. Yeah. I ended up quitting because it just wasn't working for me, man. Yeah. I left in the worst way that I could have possibly left any job. I told them off real bad, real bad. So I ended up quitting. I was like, you know what, man, I can't take authorities from people, man. I need to go out here and work for myself. So
did you have that realization when you quit, or did it take a little bit of time after you quit?
I already knew when I was working. Yeah. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. But I already knew, I can't take authority from other people. I got to be my own boss. Yeah. So I just kept on thinking, and kept on thinking. I remember, I never forget, I had maybe $160 to my name. So what I did was, I took that $160 and I went and bought, the cheapest laptop that I can find and a printer, and I started making flyers of my own business, which was, I started out doing gutter cleanings. I was cleaning any size houses for $50, man. Let's go around cleaning their gutters.
Yeah, any size?
Any size house, man. All right. Any size. It was just for me to start building my name up.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Get some money in.
So what I took from what I learned from my pops, and said, you know what? I know how to do this stuff. I just ain't got the proper certifications that I need, but I know how to do this stuff. So I started just, I bought the laptop, I bought the printer with my last $160, and now I'm broke. No money to my name, no nothing. Yeah. No income, no nothing coming in. I don't got no, check coming in because I quit this job. So I started making flyers. I called the business One Shot Weeds, Bugs, and Eliminator. So check this out.
What the hell of a name, man?
So I was doing gutter cleaning and I was doing pest control on the side. So I started out doing I started with the flyers. I started giving out the flyers, and I wasn't getting any bites. So it's this app. If you live in this neighborhood, in certain neighborhoods, it's called Next Door Neighborhood. It's an app. So I started posting it on that app. None of the flyers was working. So I'm like, man. So I went on this app one day, and I just, Next Door. I was like, so I went in there, I put in all my information and everything, and it pulled up all of the communities that I lived around in the community that I lived in.
Yeah.
So I posted an ad up there for free, posting that I do gutter cleaning, $50 any size house. And next thing you know, the phone started ringing. I ended up getting my first customer, and start telling me about like, she's having water bugs and stuff like that, enter through a house, stuff like that. And I'm like, I also do pest control. So my first customer gave me, the gutter cleaning and let me be, a exterminator for her.
Right.
So what I did was I got paid from the gutter job from her, and I went straight to Walmart and went and bought like some home defense spray and stuff like that. I'm like,
There you go.
So I went to Walmart and I bought some home defense spray, and I sprayed the whole house, and I was reading it to see how long this stuff lasts. It said it'll last up to 3 months, long as it don't rain. So I'm like, man, it's gonna rain, and the stuff is gonna wash away. So I presented myself and told her like, hey, look, you want to get this done like every quarter, which is every 3 months. So I told her, if you happen to see anything before those 3 months get here, just give me a call. I'll come back. And she was just so happy that I was honest and upfront with her and explained everything to her. She started referring me to other people, and it just started taking off like wildfire. So I just kept running that ad on the Nextdoor website on the app, and boom, I get hit. The real exterminator people, they I want to say it was like the inspectors or something. They end up, I guess somebody ended up sharing that ad with them and stuff, and they end up calling me one day and was like, hey, man, we got told that you've been, doing exterminating work and you're not licensed or insured. We're going to need to have a meeting with you. And they text me the picture of my ad. Yeah. So you could see that somebody was holding their phone and they took a picture of it. Right. So they had me meet them at a particular location. So when I got there, I'm thinking, man, I'm in trouble. I'm about to have to pay a fine and stuff. Right. And
was that a legit location, or was that like in a back alley?
No, it was a legit location. Okay. It was a legit location. They had a whole office and everything. What it was another pest control company that had snitched, that had ratted me out. Yeah. One of the bigger name pest control companies, they had basically ratted me out and said, hey, somebody's out here doing pest control for because my prices was cheap. So I end up going to their meeting and everything, and they end up basically telling me like, hey, look, another pest control company told us that you out here doing, pest control at rates that they can't even, do it for. Like, what chemicals are you using? We see that you're not licensed throughout the state of North Carolina. So I basically told them like, hey man, look, I went to Walmart and I just basically buy, regular stuff that, it's open to the public to go in and buy. And that's what I basically go in and, spray that house and stuff with. Yeah. And he was just like, look, we're going to give you a warning. Don't do that ever again. Go get the proper training and the proper certifications that you need, because you going in and spraying people houses with chemicals, whether they're allergic to it and stuff like that, which I understood where that was coming from. Yeah. Lawsuit kind of thing. I just had that mentality of, working to provide, trying to make an honest living, because I left the street life alone. It's no turning back for me, because I'm trying to figure out life. Yeah. So,
I wish we could learn these things ahead of time, right? Yeah. Like you didn't know you needed a license and stuff like that,
Yeah. So, I was like, all right, I'm done with the pest control stuff. So I quit that. I still was doing the gutter stuff, because there wasn't really no certifications that I needed for that, because once that situation right there happened with the whole pest control, it made me look into getting certified and stuff like that. And in the state of North Carolina, you don't need certain licenses for certain things, but you do need permits in certain work zones and work areas, which we'll get to here in a second, that made me go out and get certain certifications and stuff like that. Right. But I just kept going back, just thinking about everything that my pops had taught me, and just now I'm being more acceptive of him and my mom relationship and everything, because
you were like 18, 19 at this point?
I probably was like because I worked at that concrete job for at least 4 years. So I'm probably about 22, 23
Gotcha.
Years old when I basically went out and started doing my own
Gotcha.
own thing, working for myself. But now I'm more of a acceptive of my mom and pop's relationship and everything.
Was that like an instant, like something happened that you were more accepting of them, or is it just kind of like over time?
It was just over time.
Gotcha.
And that being because I still had my guard up. And I still have my guard up on certain situations. Not far as my parents' relationship, because now they're married. It's just far as certain people. And, you can pick up on people's body language and stuff like that. But just looking back on everything that my mom went through, like she's a superwoman, man. Like I salute her. I may not get her flowers as much as I need to, but I really do appreciate everything that she's done, that she's put me through, that she's taught me. Because I look back at it now, it was called tough love. It was tough.
It's
love.
Also probably the only thing she knew.
Yeah, and not only that, my mom was a young mom as well. You get what I'm saying? She had me at an early age. So me and her relationship, it's not like mother and son. It's more like brother and sister, because like it's not really a big age gap between us, but it is. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's always been like a brother and sister relationship.
Gotcha.
So I salute her, because she had to go through everything that she went through as well to get to where she's at. My mom, she's very successful. She's she's one of those type of people, she'll give you the shirt off her back. Our son just had surgery and everything, and if we don't understand something, she's right there to give us the advice that we need, because she also work in the medical field as well. And so do my other sister, my next to the oldest sister as well. So
that's helpful.
So I just salute my mom, man. I know I wasn't the easiest child for her to raise. I gave her hell. I still to this day sometimes I do give her hell.
Right.
But like I say, man, just seeing everything that she went through, it made me to who I am today, to basically, keep my guard up when I need to keep it up. Learn from my pops, far as, how to be handy with my hands and everything. Like I can't thank them enough, because all I ever wanted was from my mom to just be like, she was proud of me. Like just to get those words, it just made me feel like a kid all over again. You get what I'm saying? And
did she ever tell you that?
Yeah, eventually? Yeah. She's told me that, man. It may not be in the way, and I think what it was, I had it in my head a way that I wanted her to tell me, but it didn't go the way that I wanted it to go, because that's the way that I had wanted it to go. But no, she did. She ended up doing it. She ended up telling me that she was proud of me with all of the other stuff that we're getting ready to talk about here in a little bit.
Sure.
But she ended up, telling me that. My pops, he always told me he was proud of me. You get what I'm saying? Whether he didn't always approve with everything that I did, as far as growing up, because I was that problem child.
Yeah.
But when he started seeing me develop into the man that I am today, like he gave me my flowers.
Yeah, that's good.
So
especially coming from pops.
Yeah. And mind you, he's not even my blood dad, but he's done more than my biological dad could even do. You get what I'm saying? Like I respect my biological father to a certain extent. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, man.
Like, there's definitely a to an extent there.
Yeah, it's to an extent. You get what I'm saying? Like my pop's gonna get more other respect opposed to my biological father.
Yeah,
and,
I mean that makes sense.
So
you were 22.
Yeah, I was 22, man. So I learned everything from my pops. I want to give him his flowers and let him know that I do appreciate him. Everything that I learned far as how to stand up and be a man, I get that to my pops. So I end up doing, as I said before, I end up doing the pest control. I end up doing the gutter cleaning. So I stopped doing the pest control because I
license.
They had a license and the certifications that I needed. So as I'm doing the pest control stuff, as I'm doing the gutter cleaning and stuff, I keep running into rotted wood and stuff like that. People facial boards are rotted out and stuff, man. And I'm like, man, I know how to do all of this stuff. Like, how can I get on board to start working on people's houses?
Yeah.
So I started looking into that. I started, Googling and stuff. So what I did was, I went on the IRS website and I got me an EIN number.
There you go.
And once I got that, I started looking like, okay, what can I do with this EIN number? So I seen that the Secretary of State, you can register your business as a DBA or a LLC. I was like, boom, I'm about to go and get me a LLC.
Yeah.
So I went in to the Secretary of State, went down there with my EIN number, my paperwork and everything. And I'm thinking I got to pay a whole lot of money. And I'm asking about, licenses. Like, how can I get, my plumber's license, my electrical licenses and stuff. Mind you, I had just seen everything online, but now I'm in front of these people to where I can ask them these questions and they can guide me and tell me like, okay, you got to go over here. But no, they asked for my EIN number. I presented it to them. They had me fill out some paperwork and they asked me, okay, what do you want to do? Do you want a DBA, which is basically business known as, or do you want to make it a corporation, a LLC? And I was like, I want to get an LLC. So I applied for the LLC. They had to just run everything through their system to make sure that the name that I came up with, that nobody else didn't have that name. And once everything came back, which you find all this stuff out in the same day, it just take a couple of hours.
Sure.
But everything came back with my name, which is called One Shot TMT LLC. Basically, One Shot stands for we just asking for one opportunity. The TMT stands for the maintenance team. Of course, the LLC, limited liability company.
Sure.
So everything came back good. So
Nice.
I'm ready to operate. So you don't need, you didn't need a license to start, working on people's houses.
Right.
But the bigger the job, you may have to pull a permit.
Sure.
So anything that was over $10,000, or within certain miles in the city limits and stuff like that, if they stayed in the HOA neighborhood, you would have to go and get a permit and also get permission from the HOA.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I just keep jobs under a certain amount to where I don't have to go and get a permit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
that's also good that you got an LLC too.
Yeah.
Like you're dealing with people's houses. So
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
a little touchy there.
So before I had even started promoting my LLC or anything like that, I said, you know what, let me go and get some business insurance. So I started looking into different insurance companies. I called around and got different quotes to get like a $2 million insurance policy and stuff like that. New business, it required a lot of money down and everything to basically get a $2 million insurance policy, because the bigger I looked at it, the bigger the insurance, the bigger the jobs I can get. And not only that, I'm just not trying to be working into the low income areas. I'm trying to go to where the rich people at. That's where my mind frame was at.
But you were still trying to stay within the less than 10,000.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking, okay, if I go with the big houses and stuff, is that they willing to pay, money and stuff.
Yeah.
That's not to be true. The rich stays rich by being cheap.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
So let's just get that understood.
Yep. The wealthy, you should say. The wealthy.
The wealthy's, they stay wealthy by being super cheap.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I learned by owning my own business. And it kind of helped me out through my life as well. But I went and got, the insurance that I needed. I got a $2 million policy. I ended up getting my first resident home to start working on, and it was a big job.
Yeah.
It was almost at that $10,000 mark, and it's ways to get around that. And I'll tell you here in a second. But I ended up getting my first job, man, and it was a pretty decent job.
On top of the world.
Yeah, I was on top of the world because I went from making to $400 or $500 a day to now we talking $2,000 to $3,000 a day.
Yeah.
and just by working with my hands, learning everything that I learned from my pops and everything. And so I got my first job, and it was going in remodeling a bathroom, and I'm super excited. So we go in, we had to do demolition, you know, go in and bust everything out. You know, we got to release some frustrations and stuff like that. Go. So we gutted the whole bathroom out. Now it's time to start putting stuff back together, and I required, this was like an $8,000 job, so I required half the payment up front. The remaining balance, once I'm done with the work, that lets me know that you're happy and satisfied with the work that we've done.
Right.
And I put them on a contract. I had to present them with my insurance certificate, so I had to put their name as a certificate holder. So if we would have damaged anything, okay, instead of going after me, you can just go through my insurance company, and you know, they'll take care of you guys. So if we would have caused any damage. So the job went good, but we kept running into certain problems, and she started adding on more stuff as we went. So I'm still thinking in my head, like, I'm reaching that $10,000 mark, you know. Now, you know, I'm still new at running this business as well, and it's just me and like one other guy. That was helping me. I didn't have a big crew. So what I did was, as she started adding on more stuff, what I did was I went to Lowe's on Capitol Boulevard, and, you know, shout out to all my amigos. All the amigos was out there. And, you know, I just started picking out people that, you know, I would tell them like, hey, I'm looking for somebody that could do this, who could do this. And, you know, they didn't really speak too much good English. But it was one guy. His name was Jose. He knew English and Spanish real good. So I made him like my foreman.
Nice.
So I picked him up, and I started picking out guys, and he would translate, like, okay, he's looking for somebody that know how to lay tile. He's looking for somebody that know how to, you know, lay backsplash, stuff like that. So I started picking up, you know, individual guys, and they wanted to be paid the same day. But it worked out. So I got all of them with me now because she started adding on more and more work. And what I did was, for each thing that she wanted done, I wrote up different contracts for that to keep from having to go and pull certain permits and stuff like that.
Just a different invoice kind of thing.
Different invoice. So instead of putting everything on one, I would just draw up another one and another one, and just keep it going like that, to try to keep everything from not, and also trying to keep a lot of stuff from Uncle Sam as well. But it don't work like that. People think because you own your own business that, you know, things are easy, that you got money and stuff like that. It's a headache, man. It's really a headache. I'll never forget, I had went to Wells Fargo, and I was old fashioned. I learned a lot of this stuff from my pops as well. Don't put all your money in the bank. So I would go to Wells Fargo and, you know, cash checks and stuff, and I would cash them. I wouldn't deposit them, and I went to Wells Fargo this one particular day, and this check was probably like $9,500, and I was going to go cash it because, mind you, I had guys that wanted to be paid the same day. They didn't want to be on papers and stuff like that. I'm still new at running this business as well, and I go to Wells Fargo this particular day to cash this check. I never made my guys wait to get paid. I would just go ahead and pay them if I had the money on me right then and there. I would just go ahead and pay my guys once we were done working. I went to Wells Fargo to cash this check, and the lady told me, she was like, look, we can't cash this check for you. In the last 2 days, you already in cash $20,000. So I was like, dang. So I ended up leaving at Wells Fargo. I was like, oh, whatever. I went up the road to another Wells Fargo, and because the checks was rolled out to, it was written out to me in my personal name. But she banked with Wells Fargo, and if you go to their particular bank, you know, you can cash it and everything like that. Some banks may charge a fee. But I went up the road to the other Wells Fargo, which was in Nightdale, and they told me the same thing. Like, they had basically flagged my name for you know, constantly cashing checks, you know, and taking the money. And they kept trying to get me to open up a business account with them and stuff.
At this point, you didn't have one.
No, I didn't have a business account. But they, you know, when you go into certain banks and they see you with, you know, certain amount of check. They try to get you to, hey, you got a checking account or savings accounts, or just who you bank with in general. And, I basically told him, like, look, I don't believe in banks. I use banks now, but back then, I'm still new at running the business.
Right.
I didn't want to just put my money in the bank, because when you need your money, you want it right then and there.
Right.
But that was just that mentality that I had, man. But you do really do need banks,
you do,
though, man.
Yeah.
You do.
I'm surprised you got away with it for so long.
Yeah, so they basically told me, like, look, we can't cash this check for you. You could deposit, you can open up an account, because in the last 2 days, you basically already in cash $20,000. And this was like my first week of doing construction work.
Yeah. That's wild, man.
Still with this same customer, because she had it like that, and she wanted a lot of stuff done. And I'm not one of those people. I'm not a salesperson. I can't. I'm not going to talk you into something that you really don't need and stuff, because I wouldn't want somebody to go in and do my family or do my grandparents or somebody like that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if I tell you, hey, I'm going to be here at such and such time, this is what you guys getting done, you can take it to the bank. Because if I say, hey, I'm running 5 minutes late, it's all about communications at the end of the day. And a lot of things that I was noticing with these customers, communication. They would hire other contractors and stuff, and the number one problem was that the contractors themselves, they wouldn't communicate with the customer.
That's true.
If you running 10, 15 minutes late, communicate that. Let them know what's going on. If you're not going to show up, communicate with them. If you run into a problem, don't try to Band-Aid it or cover it up. Communicate with the customer. And there was a lot of things that helped me succeed with my business.
Yeah, that's the number one right there.
Yeah. I started getting bigger and better jobs to where I can start allowing my pops to come and do work with me.
Nice.
And I felt real good when that had happened, because he the one that taught me everything. For us to be working side by side now with jobs that I'm getting, and I'm doing it honestly. Man, I was like a kid in the candy store to be able to be sitting there working side by side with my pops.
Yeah.
And we still, to this day, we may do 1 or 2 jobs together and stuff. I don't do residential work anymore, though. I graduated from that because residential work will eventually turn into a headache. I wasn't passionate about the residential work because you got the customers standing over top of you and stuff as well, because so many customers have, been done wrong and stuff like that. So they're going to make sure that you actually doing what you say you're going to do, make sure that you actually providing the service that you say that you can provide.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that I wasn't doing any of these things. It's just that I don't like people standing over top of me when I work.
Yeah. It's more of a fragile thing when you're working with residential.
But sure. I will say this, what made me get out of residential work, it's nothing against black people or anything, because I'm black myself. But I had you put for example, you could put you could have a bag of apples, and you could put one rotted apple inside of those bag of apples, and all of those apples gonna eventually rot. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? So I had this one particular customer. She was an African American lady. I call her a Jersey City slicker. Like, she had one of those fast talks with her, man. She was from up north, had just moved down here. She talked a good game. She wanted all this work done and everything, and I proceeded to put her on a contract, put her on my business insurance and everything, and I worked her up a quote. I want to say the job was like $20,000. So mind you, I had to go and pull permits and stuff like that. I did everything I had to do by the book. She paid the deposit. We went in. We did the work. The work is done. It's complete. And I want to say it took us like 2 months to do this work. And she ended up stiffing me on my last payment. She started nitpicking, like trying to say, oh yeah. The work was perfect. Like, she just didn't want to pay. And come to find out that the payment that she had first gave me originally, I'm not knowing, because I was also taking people bank cards. I had what was called Square, where people can swipe their bank cards and stuff like that, and it would go straight to your bank account in a matter of days. So what she did was that very first payment that I had received from her, I received it, but she went back in and had disputed it while we was there working, and I didn't have no idea about that.
Damn.
So basically, I got screwed out of
Damn.
a bunch of money and everything. So it kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. I took her to court and everything, and I ended up winning in court, but I still to this day don't
Damages
have the
are
money.
there.
Yeah, and the only thing that they told me to do was which I did, was put a lien on her house, and whenever she get ready to sell it, I should be able to get my money that way. But
so you won, but you never really got the money for it to this day?
I didn't ever get the money, even still to this day.
Damn,
maybe
sucks,
one day if she ever sell that property,
God,
if you destroy it.
Yeah, hopefully you find out.
Yeah. So the way it is set up, if she was to ever sell it, I will be the first one to get paid once the deal is done.
Okay, so the bank knows, or whoever knows.
Yeah. Not only that, it's other contractors that she had did like that as well. So not only am I'm the only one that got a lien against her house, it's other contractors as well that have a lien up against her house. But if she ever decided to sell it, God willing, we do get our money. But that kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. So I backed up a little bit, and I was like, dang, if that was that easy like that, going through the whole court process and everything, just how many other people that can, get done like that and stuff, or how many other customers could burn me like that and stuff. So it kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. So I ended up graduating from residential to commercial work. Yeah. And
what was that step though? Was it like just you going out there and?
So basically what it was, I ended up having to go to business school for that. And it wasn't that long. It wasn't that hard. I had to write a couple of essays and stuff like that as well, and show my credentials and stuff like that. And I already had my own business, so that was one plus right there. But it was residential, and I'm trying to do commercial. So my baby brother ended up telling me about this app, and
another app.
Yeah, and it get your foot in the door. It basically gets you started. And I'm not gonna share that app name because I still, do work with them, and it's a pretty popping app. But there's plenty of money out here for everybody to be made. But this is just like one of my little honey holes. Until it runs dry. Right. But
I get that.
My brother ended up, telling me about this app and everything, and I looked into it, and I had to provide my business insurance and everything like that. And once everything went through, as far as my background, my credentials and everything, I was in there. Nice. And I basically started running the whole North Carolina area, far as I told you guys before, the Starbucks, Walmarts, Harris Teeters and stuff like that. It amazes me that all these apps, that's part of technology that it is now, because back in the day, as I talked about, I would have to go out and give out flyers, knock on doors and stuff like that. So now technology is just, it's blowing up as far as social media stuff, the internet and all of that stuff. I remember growing up, it wasn't no, touchscreen phones and stuff like that. It was the flip phones or the beepers and stuff like that. Yeah. So my brother ended up putting me onto this app. I end up doing everything. I get my first little gig was for $1 General to go in and change out a couple ceiling tiles. And on the app, it'll show you how much your job is paying, how long it should take, and how many hours you can take on the job. And it's super easy work, man. It's super easy. So
the work's done for you.
Kinda. So the first job I had ever did was the $1 General, and I want to say that I had to go in and put in like 2 ceiling tiles. You basically go to your Lowe's, Home Depot, you purchase the ceiling tiles, you keep your receipts, and you upload everything on the app. They'll reimburse you for the materials and everything. You do got to have, your own tools and stuff like that, which is, expected. But I went in and fixed those 2 little ceiling tiles, man, and it took me all of 5 seconds, and I had got $125. And I closed that job out, and I uploaded it back to the office and everything because it's based out of Kentucky. And I was paid like that. And I went right back onto the app and Carytown Center Mall, when they used to be open, I ended up getting a pretty decent job over there. It was called Lenscraft, which is like an eyeglass place. Yeah. I went in there and same issue. They wanted all of their ceiling tiles and they're replaced. I bid it on a job. I ended up winning on the job. I want to say that job paid me like $12,000.
Nice.
But I had to do it in the nighttime. But it literally only took me one day. Yeah. So I went in just me by myself. Yeah. Because I'm trying to learn the commercial aspect and everything. And I'm really doing it by the book. I can't just go and pick, Jose and the other guys up from Lowe's and stuff. Like now I gotta be more professional and stuff because you're going into professional places and stuff. Right. Not saying that the resident people wasn't professional, but it was a little bit more chill, laid back because it was work outside. You may be in a bathroom, working in the attic or something like that. But now I'm going into bigger establishments and stuff like that. So I couldn't just get anybody to go in here with me and stuff. So I did that job by myself. I called my brother. I'm like, hey man, like, look, I really do appreciate what you just, you told me about this app. I got accepted in. I'm doing this job. Da 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 da. I appreciate it. And he basically. He was doing the app for another company, but I guess he didn't like that company because you can contract this work out to other people, but they got to have their credentials and everything. And that's basically what my brother was working up on another company. And they was sending him out to do the work and they was making all the money. So my brother told me because he knew I was already in this field and everything. And he, got pissed off with them and told me about it. And I just went with it. And I didn't look back, which my brother know if he ever need anything, I'll do anything for him. Right. I love my family. You get what I'm saying? I'm a family guy at the end of the day.
Did he end up joining you or doing his own thing?
My brother, he has worked for me a couple of times. He already know if he ever really need anything, man, he can come work. And I don't really. I think what it is, I'm kind of hard on my brother. I'm hard on each one of my siblings because it's a whole world out here, and we all got that hustle mentality. I feel like I'm more harder on my baby brother because he may not admit it, but I feel like he look up to me, and I see myself in him a lot. He followed in my footsteps in not everything, just in a couple things. You get what I'm saying? Sure, but my brother could be in a good situation if he just apply himself more and open up his eyes a little bit more. Not saying that anything that he's doing right now is bad, but I want to see him win. It's not bad for me to want to see my brother win or just see anybody win in general. I'm just one of those people. If you in my circle, I want to see you win. Yeah. And that's just how it is with me and my brother. I want to see him win because
it's a good person to have around.
Yeah, we know better. We do better. If I'm winning, you winning. So that's just how it is. So regardless, my brother already know if you ever need anything, and this is with any of my siblings, my families. Like if you honestly really do need it, I'm there for you. Yeah. Hands down. It's not about the money because I'm gonna be honest with you. Money comes and goes. Today you got it. Tomorrow it could be gone. Sure. Today I could have a job. Tomorrow I could be sitting at home. So at the end of the day, it's applying yourself, put a little bit away for a rainy day. Because a rainy day is coming. Nobody didn't expect COVID to shut the whole world down. Right. Yeah. So
it went from making a certain amount to zero in a week.
So I do commercial work and I'm not passionate about it. Like I'm not passionate about it. What I'm more passionate about is the other business that I have, which is a mobile detailing business, which is called Showroom Mobile Detailing. I'm passionate about vehicles, whether it's a car, truck. That's what I'm passionate about because everything that I done everything that I went through. Mind you, a lot of this stuff was already around my life the whole time.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot of this stuff from my pops, from working on houses to me working on houses to the commercial world to me owning a detail business to being around with the race cars and everything. And, we car people, whether it's a truck or a car, like I said.
Yeah.
My pops, he had race cars, Corvettes, trucks, so it's always just been around me and something that I always been fascinated about.
You had to clean those cars when you're growing up and stuff like that?
Yeah. And I won't forget it. My mom and my pops both told me, like, man, you should detail cars. Like, you do a good job. So when the pandemic hit, COVID, I was still doing work, but it was like super, super slow. And I started thinking, like, man, I don't got nothing to fall back on. Like, I got money and stuff like that, but I like working.
Yeah.
Like, I like working. So
plus, eventually, all that money's gonna run out.
Yeah, of
So
course.
you gotta work.
And when the pandemic happened, that's when I came up with the idea of starting my own mobile detailing business.
Nice.
And best decision that I could have ever made, because I'm passionate about this. I could be on a car literally all day for 8 hours and only make $125. I'm cool with that because I'm passionate about this. I like when the customer walk out of that house and they seen how that vehicle used to look to where it's at now, just their face expression and hearing those kind words and everything.
Yeah.
And that makes my day. So
I mean, plus like the pandemic, people want to get rid of their germs in the car and stuff like that. So.
But I ain't working for 8 hours making $100.
Right? No.
But I'm just trying to use that as an example to show you guys how passionate I am about it.
Yeah.
But I'm not like it don't feel like work. So that's what I'm doing now. Is just focusing on my detailing business, my mobile detailing business.
Yeah.
And pushing my son brand.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about that because we're running. I want to make sure we have time for that.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So like, talk to me because I already know kind of what happened, but the people don't know. So let's talk about it again.
Okay.
So your son is 8 months.
He's 9 months now.
9 months now.
Yeah. 9 months now.
And so talk to me about what happened with him.
As far as the surgery this last time?
Not this last time, but the beginning,
in general.
like in general.
Okay.
Yeah, like what's wrong?
So our son at 19 weeks, my wife ended up calling and telling me that at her doctor's appointment that our son was gonna be born with a heart defect. And I didn't go to that particular doctor's appointment because I was working. Which I wish I should have went there when I look back at it now. But she basically called and told me that the doctors ended up telling her that our son was going to be born with a heart defect, and they think it's best that we just, get an abortion done. And I basically told her on that phone that, we're not going to get an abortion. I don't believe in that. So, and I told her at the end of the day, God got us, and let's just go get a second, opinion. So, I talked her through it the whole way back home and stuff. Of course, she was crying and upset. And we ended up going to go get a second opinion from Duke Hospital. And they told us, like, look, we specialize in this. This is basically what we do. We have kids born with this same condition each and every day, which was the condition that my son he had a pinch in his aortic arch, which was allowing more blood flow to one side of the heart. And he also was born with a little hole in his heart as well.
Yeah.
So his first procedure and everything.
Man, that's crazy that they would know that early on in the pregnancy.
Yeah. It's technology.
Yeah.
Technology.
Yeah.
So, our son is born.
Hold on. So the Duke Hospital wasn't like pushing for, you should probably just abort your son.
Nah. Duke Hospital wasn't pushing for us to abort our son.
Yeah, they were encouraging.
That was encouraging us.
That's
like,
good.
This is what they specialize in.
Right,
they have certain floors for certain certain things and stuff.
That kind of like probably put you guys at ease.
Oh yeah,
that they said that.
Definitely put us at ease. But I still had that bitter taste in my mouth. Like, it's no telling how many other parents that this particular doctor or nurse had, told other parents to basically abort their kid, and how many parents actually went out there and just went with the first advice that they had got. So our son is born. At 6 days old, he ended up going in and having his first surgery, which they went in and.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 1 second before you get into that.
Okay.
So you went with Duke. You went through the process of the pregnancy through there. What was running through your mind as far as like to prepare for that? Was there a preparation before he was even born?
So basically what we did was we just kind of treated the situation as a normal situation, as if anybody would, have a
pregnancy.
Yeah, if anybody would have a, a healthy baby born. We treated it as that situation. Okay. We didn't like panic or anything like that, because I'm a firm believer in the Lord and everything, and family. I'm real big on family. I talked to my mother-in-law, my mom, my pops, and everything. just to get that guidance and support. So once we knew our whole family was on board with us and everything, it made it more easier. So family is a big key, and it don't take blood to make you family. So let's get that understood.
It's the whole talking it out and getting that acceptance, that receiving that, yes, I'm listening to you.
Yes, sir. So we basically got prepared to give birth to our son, and we went into the hospital that morning, and our son was born, and it was like the amazing thing in the world.
You didn't faint?
Nah, I didn't faint. I was prepared. We was prepared. So as I'm sitting there looking at him and everything, and we joking and laughing, I'm like, dang, he's a big boy. And he was born 9 pounds 2 ounces. I was like, dang, you just pushed all of that out of you,
Yeah.
So he's there. We got to hold him for like 5 minutes, and after that they took him because they had to hurry up and hook him up to machines and give him some medications and stuff like that to keep that hole from closing up.
It's got to be devastating.
Yeah,
only 5 minutes.
Because you want your kid to be there with you while you there at the hospital anyway. So he's born at 6 days old. We getting prepared for his first surgery. Of course, we scared, we nervous. My mother-in-law, shout out to my mother-in-law. I love her to death. She flew in from California to be down here with us because we have other kids as well.
All right.
So she stayed at the crib with our other kids and everything, while we was getting prepared for Legend surgery. And at 6 days old, they went in and fixed the pinch that was on his heart, to allow that blood flow on the side that it needed. They put a band over the hole because he was still small to be 9 pounds. They didn't want to put too much stress on him, so they went in and they just fixed the pinch to allow that more blood flow. And basically, man, we had to go through so much training and everything to just be able to properly take care of him, because
that seems like a lot.
Yeah, and we had to learn how to feed him because he couldn't eat by the mouth, because he had just had a surgery and everything, and he had tubes and stuff down his throat and everything. We basically stayed at the hospital for I want to say a month and a half, so it wasn't no feeding him by the mouth. We had to feed it through his tube that was going in through his nose and everything. It was going down to his stomach. So
what was the food? Was it?
It was just milk.
Okay,
yeah, it was just milk.
Was it her milk?
No.
It was just.
Let me think.
The hospital
we started out with breast milk, but her breast really wasn't producing the milk as much as she had liked it and stuff like that.
I thought it was like really important for the baby to have like the mother's breast milk.
In the beginning, we was giving him breast milk, and then they switched it over to the formula milk and stuff like that. And so we would just basically put it in a bag, and the machine, run the machine, and the machine would just basically, put it through his nose and everything. It would go down through his stomach. And then he had a procedure done to where he got a G-tube put into his stomach. to feed him that way and got it out of his nose because he started to get older and pull at the one that was in his face.
Yeah.
So we had to learn how to do that, how to change it out and stuff like that.
Was it hard to learn at first? That seems
for my wife, I feel like I would say it was kind of hard for her, but she had me and we had each other.
Yeah.
To support one another. So if something that I didn't understand, she understood.
Gotcha. That's good.
Vice versa.
Yeah.
So I love her to death, man. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for her. Cause she's more calm, like she's more chill. More
you guys
relaxed.
Complement each other.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
That's good. Especially for
negative and a positive. I always make a positive. So she makes sure I stay on the right track, and I make sure she stay on the right track, which. She always on the right track. Sometimes I can get a little sidetracked and stuff like that.
Right.
Because I'm always on go mode, besides this daddy mode or husband mode, I can't sit still. Like, I gotta be out, making some money the honest way. But, we got prepared for Legion's second surgery, which just happened February 8th. And they went in and closed up the hole on this one, which we only end up having to stay at the hospital this time for right at 5 days. Okay. So
was there any kind of hesitation with this second surgery?
No, it wasn't no hesitation.
It was just like kind of
we was already prepared for it. It happened sooner than what we thought because we thought they was gonna at least wait till he was 1 year old, but they actually waited till he was 8 months. And their main thing was they wanted him to get a little bit bigger. So he ended up getting a little bit bigger to where they felt comfortable with going in and doing the second procedure. So excuse me. He before I get to that part, so we stayed in the hospital for a month and a half.
For the first one.
For the first
surgery. Yeah.
Because we had to do all the training and everything. Had to get oxygen machines set up at the house and stuff like that, just in case if he needed the oxygen. But thank the Lord that we didn't end up having to use the oxygen.
Yeah.
But we do still have it there at the house just in case. So Legend got to come home after a month and a half. He grew, healthy, fine, up until 8 months. And that's when we went in and just had the second procedure done to where they went in and they closed the hole up. And we stayed in the recovery, stayed at the hospital for 5 days, got to come home. It was nobody but the Lord though, man. I keep saying that, but the Lord work in mysterious ways. Like all of the praying and everything, man, like it works, man. And I'm not holier than thou. I'm not, I'm not better than nobody, man. I'm just a regular person that's trying to figure out this life the best way that I know how. At times, life can seem like it's full of crap, but at the end of the day, you have to make the best of your situation. And not only just for us to overcome that, I want to let everybody know, no matter what it is that you have going on in life, man, whether it's, negative, you're going to beat that, man. You're going to overcome it.
As long as you have like a positive mindset and just try and keep taking some type of step, some type of action towards the, going forward.
Yeah, you just got to stay positive. Don't think about the quick, easy, fast money, man, because the quicker you got it, the quicker it go. And karma, I truly believe in karma. Like a lot of that stuff that I did in my younger days, like it came back. Like it came back, and it's been days that I didn't talk about. It's been days to where I had to go through lights getting cut off, running out of gas. It's a lot, man, and I just looked at it as it was my karma coming back. Like, so now I'm on
You're all paid off.
Yeah, I'm all paid off. At least I believe, but
except for the hospital bill. Jesus.
That's hospital bill. That's where the insurance come in handy at.
Is that you? Did that pay a good amount of it? Because
it paid everything.
I saw a video of someone who's like, check on your friends whose baby has been there for more than a few weeks. Because her hospital bill was like $8.4 million or something. Like that.
Good insurance, man. Good insurance.
Gotcha.
It's just the Lord, man. At the end of the day, I can't take credit for none of this. My wife has been super, supportive with everything.
It seems like you got a good family support too.
Yeah, good family support. That's very you know, shout out to my mom, my pops, my in-laws, my siblings, my wife's siblings. They everybody's supportive, man. Everybody that reached out to us to check up on him. Shout out to the truck community, the car community, man. And the reason I say that is because we went to a lot of truck shows, a lot of car show events. As soon as we was able to take our son home and everything, I as I said in my video on my channel, that me and my son made this eye contact one day, man, and it was like something out of this world. And he made me be a better father, a better husband, a better friend to my wife. And
do you feel like he calms you down?
Yeah, he definitely calms me down. Like he calms me down a lot, a whole lot. That's where I say, like, I don't care about the money. I don't care about the materialistic stuff. Like all of this stuff right here, like I could lose all of this jewelry and everything.
Yeah.
It has no meaning towards me. But my wife, like she's some out of this world, man. Like she's amazing. First of all, for her to even give me her hand in marriage, that was a blessing by itself. Long story short, she ended up, you know, moving from California to come down here to live with me and everything, because we were just dating. You know, I would go out to Cali, she would come down. And
long distance thing.
Yeah, long distance relationship.
That doesn't last usually.
Yeah, it don't last. So her sisters had made a comment like, look, as much money as y'all spend on flights and everything, like y'all might well just move together. And like I told her, I'm not moving to California. Like I come down, I visit and all of that, but I'm not moving to California. Like my business and everything is established out here in North Carolina. And North Carolina is steady growing and everything.
It's good middle ground.
Yeah, so she drove all the way down here.
Damn.
All the way down here. She sold everything, just about everything that she had in California, all of her furniture and everything. And we got a house out here. I furnished the whole house. Well, we did it together. So when she came down here, I wanted to be just perfect for her, because she was willing to make that step right there for me. So that showed me right there how loyal she was to me. So I salute her.
That's wife material right there.
Yeah. So my son, I end up just, you know, shout out to the truck community, like I was saying, to the car community, because a lot of people supported us through, you know, my wife's pregnancy, even up until the point when we had our son Legend. They would, you know, my son is not a charity case, so I never did start a GoFundMe or anything like that. But people would just come up to us and just, you know, give us money and stuff. And we put this money all away for Legend when he get older and stuff.
Oh, nice.
We don't touch it or anything. Yeah. But different car events and stuff would just shout us out on the loudspeaker and stuff like that, and talk about our son conditions and stuff like that. And people would just come up and just, you know, donate money or just, you know, purchase our merch and stuff like that. Yeah. And some people didn't even want the stuff. And I would literally have to force them to, like, look, man, I'm not just going to take you guys money. Like, right. Take a hat, take a shirt. So shout out to all of those people, man. Shout out to the whole truck community, the car community and everything, man, because it means a lot.
I mean, like, I'm not, you know, in the car community, in the truck community. I've known a few people who are in the community, and I've seen like the social medias and how they interact and stuff like that. I'm just like, wow, it's kind of like a tight knit community. Yeah. But at the same time, it's getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, it's getting bigger and bigger. I will say in the truck community, man, far as the Lord trucks, because that's what I have. I go to all, you know, try to go to each and everybody event to give one. To show support, but to the Lord truck people, guys.
Lord truck people?
Yeah, the Lord trucks, like the Lord.
Oh, Lord trucks. Yeah. Oh, gotcha.
I can honestly say, like, we definitely stick together. Like,
it seems like there's a lot of support.
Yeah, like we brothers. Like, I'm not too for sure, but I feel like I might be like the only in the North Carolina area. I feel like I might be like the only Black guy with the Lord truck. Oh, yeah. You know, my wife is Hispanic. You know, my son is Hispanic and Black. So, but okay. I already been part of, you know, truck communities and stuff like that. I just wanted to push this brand, which is the Heart Warrior Legend brand, and spread heart disease awareness as well. Because what that nurse had did, it turned me into an animal. Just like
a little chip on your shoulder.
Yeah. So when I pull up to different shows and stuff, it's to let people see, like, my son overcame this, and this is who we do it for. It's not to feel like we better than anybody or anything like that, because I have been asked to join different, car club, truck clubs. But that's not my forte, and nothing against those guys that are in, clubs and stuff like that. That's just not my forte right now. Would I ever join one? It's hard to say, but right now my focus is on my family and pushing my son brand. So shout out to these guys, man. Oak City Joe.
Oak City Joe.
Shout out to those guys. Shout out to Wiseman Calvin, because I do YouTube as well, and I bumped into Calvin one day. I was at Sheetz gas station, and Calvin he approached me. He was like, "Hey man, you do YouTube, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he just showed me mad love and respect. And we started following one another, and that's how I came across you. So I want to tell you as well, man. Shout out to everything that you is doing. Don't give up, man, because I see what you're doing. Like you really you onto something, man, because you're getting a lot of people that is involved in the community in the North Carolina area. You're getting everybody up here on your platform, and I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
And you got great things on the way. So don't think that your hard work is not being noticed, because it definitely is.
I appreciate that, man.
So keep that up.
Sometimes it's good to hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's good to hear, man. That, like I was saying, like I just wanted to feel appreciated by my mom. But
right.
No matter what you got going on in life, man, just stay dedicated. Stay dedicated. Don't give up. And that's to each and every last one of you guys. Stay dedicated. Don't give up. Whatever it is that you believe in, continue to believe in it, because literally in this world you can be whatever you want to be. I go and talk at the Boys and Girls Club. I'm trying to get my first event in June this year, my own truck show.
Nice.
I haven't came up with the date yet. I do know that the name is probably going to end up being Legend Toy Box. That's going to be the name of it.
Okay.
Legend Toy Box. I just got to figure out a date and figure out a location of where I want to do it at, because
I'm sure you could get the community to help you out.
Oh yeah. And kids can come out and enjoy. It's free to the kids, free to the public.
One note, he mentioned Oak City Joe and Calvin Wiseman. They were on the podcast. I'll link their episodes down in the description.
I also seen both of those guys' episodes. Two good guys, man. I never physically got to meet Joe or anything like that, but a lot of places that I go and stuff, when people see me and my family and stuff with our trucks and everything, because my son have his own truck as well, and he's only 9 months. People always bring up Oak City as well, like I went and ate at Taco Edition and
Taco Addicts.
Yeah. And those guys it was good, man. It was a good restaurant. They brought those guys up. They brought Oak City trucks up as well, man.
Oh yeah.
And so something may be in the works, man. Joe, if you're watching this, man, reach out to me. Maybe we can put something together.
I think you guys could.
And put something together for the community, get back to the youth. Because I plan on doing something as well for the youth, as far as going to go talk at a Boys and Girls Club out in my area, and order a bunch of pizzas and everything like that, to just and talk to the kids, man. Because you just never know what's going on in kids' homes and everything.
Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah, I think you and Joe have similar, very very similar goals in mind. Helping the youth and all that stuff.
And I also want to say one more thing as well. So a lot of people know me as Huncho Cartel, and they get it confused. They think because I have cartel in my name that I'm part of the cartel. That's not the case. And the reason I have cartel in my name, and everybody know this, a lot of people do know this, but a lot of people that don't know it, this is for you guys. Every vehicle that we have, they tell a story. So cartel, you get what I'm saying? So they tell a story, and I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Right.
All our vehicles that we got, they tell a story, man. So that's why I have Cartel at the end of my name. Like we have one of my trucks is called Big Bertha. My Lord truck, my Lord truck is called Baby Aquafina. I just haven't named my son truck yet.
Yeah.
Which we have other vehicles that have names as well, but
you think you're gonna wait till he's a little older to pick his own name or something?
Everything that we have right now, it's for my son. You get what I'm saying? All the vehicles that I have right now is for him.
Right.
I eventually want him to, and it's whatever he decides to do when he get older. I'm not going to force this stuff on him.
Sure.
But if he decides to take this over, by all means, because he can have everything.
Yeah.
I plan on retiring at 40 years old.
There you go.
That's my goal, is to retire at 40 years old, and all I can say is the Lord has truly blessed me and my family. And I'm not saying with money and anything. I'm rich in here.
Yeah.
I'm at peace. If something was to happen to me today, I can honestly say I left this earth doing each and everything that I possibly wanted to do. I did it my way. That's what I live by, man. I'm not concerned with what tomorrow is going to bring or what next week it's going to bring. I live for today and today only. Don't wait till you get old to think like, okay, I'm gonna take a vacation now. I'm gonna relax. No, do it now. Like, enjoy life now, because tomorrow is never promised. So
right. Yeah, we all gotta enjoy our lives, right?
Yeah.
Not just work for it.
Yeah.
Man, I think you're doing really great things, man. I'm really proud of the work you're doing. I can't wait to see where you are in 5 years.
Yeah,
even.
Appreciate it.
I think it's gonna be something even better.
Yeah, appreciate it. I'm gonna make sure how can I say this, man? City, state to state. We're going city, state to state.
Yeah.
I'm just not limiting myself in the Raleigh area, the North Carolina area, because it's a whole world out here.
Yeah, you guys.
I'm willing to go any and everywhere for different shows, different events, to also spread heart disease awareness. Wherever the Lord see my presence is needed, I'm there.
Yeah. Maybe you get like a Boys and Girls sponsorship or something.
Right now we don't have a sponsor, but I'm open to sponsors.
Same here.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah. So I'm open to sponsors. I'm open to, collabing with other people as well, as far as the truck and car community.
Yeah.
As I said before, Joe, if you're watching this, if you ever want to, work together, I'm more than welcome to work with you. We can definitely do something, involving the youth. That's where I'm at, man, because the youth is the future. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Eventually, we all gonna get old, gonna get sick. So,
and I feel like working with kids, especially, heals your inner child. On your own. As well.
Oh yeah, man. I want to say this. I want to shout you out again. Shout out to everybody, but shout out to my mom. That's the main thing. I want to say shout out to her, because if I would have never went through what I went through as a kid, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I'm not at my best, but I'm comfortable, because you can never be at your best, because it's always something that you can learn.
Sure.
And it's always something new coming out and stuff. So
yeah,
I want to shout my mom out for raising 5 kids, doing it to the best of her ability. I don't want her to ever feel like what she put on me hurt me, because it didn't. It made me better. It made me stronger. It made me understand myself and understand life. And that was, she did the best that she could. But at the end of the day, I was a hothead kid.
Yeah. You were going through your things.
Yeah, and I wouldn't listen to everything that she said. So I don't want her to ever feel like, a whole lot of resentment or anything towards her, because that's never the case. Like, that's my mom. I'ma always love her. I'ma always respect her. All I ever wanted was for her to accept me and say that she appreciate all of the positive stuff that I done. Don't applaud me on none of the negative stuff that I did, because that was, you learn from your mistakes. And I was young, dumb, and stupid, crashing out. I was a crash dummy. You know, my father, you know, may he be coming home soon. That far as us trying to grow a relationship, that's out the door. Because I'm to the age now you can't tell me anything. I respect you as my father, but
that's about it.
That's about it, man. Because my pops, he's the real MVP because he chose to raise kids that wasn't his, and it goes back to it don't take blood to make y'all kin, and he really opened my eyes, opened my sibling eyes, and even still to this day, he had health issues of his own, and he still was right there just sticking it out with us, man.
Yeah.
So salute to him, salute to my whole family, and I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for them.
That's right. Good things, man. Yeah. Appreciate you. Yeah. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
So on my social media, Instagram is Huncho Cartel. I also have a TikTok platform as well, which is _Huncho_Chevy. I also have a YouTube channel as well, Huncho Cartel. That's it, guys. I appreciate each and every last one of you guys. Continue to support Inspire Voice. Amazing things are on the way, as I continue to say. Check in on your loved ones, man, because you just never know what they got going on.
Especially with strong friends.
Yeah. Check in on your loved ones. And just stay true to yourself. Don't give up, regardless of what you have going on in life. Just keep going, because better days and better things are coming. I promise you that.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you.
That's it.
Thank you again.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Corey, pass me that back. I got my boy Corey.
You got me some jewelry? No,
I got something that I wanted to give you. I know you told me a large, but they kind of run a little small, so I wanted to give you one of my son merch shirts.
Ah, okay. Nice. There we go. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I really do.
Actually, I said a medium.
Oh, you said a medium? I feel like you can fit that. It may be
yeah, I think you can.
You know, if you can't fit it, put it in the picture frame.
That's cool, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, buddy. I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. All right, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Man, it's pretty cool, man.
There you go.
I'm telling you, you got bigger things on the way, man. I could tell you do, though, Oliver.
I hope so.
I really do. I can feel it. All you gotta do with YouTube, man, just we're not recording right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just keep grinding, man. Just keep grinding with this YouTube. Keep uploading. Just once you start getting consistent, you just never know what video it's gonna.
Yeah, it only takes one, right?
It just takes one.
Yeah.
It just takes one, because I never forget. Before I got to where I'm at with YouTube, me and my wife, we went and did a thrifting video where we went to the Goodwill, and I'm like, man, my people don't want to see that. They want to see cars and stuff.
Yeah.
And to this day, that video is the most viewed video. It outdid. It took off by the time I uploaded it and everything. And I'm not editing on the skills that you are editing on and stuff. Like, you more professional with it. Like me, I'm just on iMovie, and
it's more like vlog style, right?
Yeah. And that video like literally skyrocket. And I want to say, before I had even came across you, I want to say I had already, before I had, came across Wiseman when he shouted you out on his Instagram. I want to say that I came across one of your videos, and I was watching it, and I was like, man, dude, I want to be on his podcast. And I think the very first time I had talked to you on the phone, I was like, I want to be on your podcast.
Yeah, I remember that.
So because I'm just inspired by everything that you do, man. And I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I promise you, man, like, you really are onto something, because I notice that when I start going through your videos and stuff, and I start noticing certain people and stuff, I'm like, dude, this dude is getting ready to blow up here in a little bit. This dude is getting ready to blow up here in a little bit. And you put everybody on your podcast, and I don't know when it's gonna happen, but it's all gonna take off. Like when, and now that I had seen that Joe Oak City Trucks, and then I just seen Calvin Wiseman, I seen those guys and everything, because these guys got names out here on the streets and stuff.
Right, yeah.
That's just gonna bring in more traffic, more everything for you, and it's just gonna. What I like about it is that you have everybody working together, and you're not afraid to put people up here on your podcast. That's what I really like and enjoy, and you're doing it for this area. You get what I'm saying? Like, everybody that's on your podcast are from North Carolina, so it's just gonna bring more traffic, more people that's gonna want to be up here on your podcast.
So, that's the goal, man. I mean, I do it because I growing up, I felt like I never had any options. And so, like, hearing these stories and all that stuff, it makes you aware that there's other options out there.
So let me ask you. You asked me a couple questions. What is it that you're passionate about? Because I seen in one. Let me pause you right there. I seen in, was it Calvin or Joe video where you was like, you have so much free time that you can do more.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I saw that, and that particular part right there stood out to me. So what is it that you honestly passionate about?
You know, like 8 months ago or something like that, I had to reset my foundation. You know, I have the photography and videography business. And then I was like, what's the goal with that? And then, because it's not commercials, I don't want to do commercials as a goal, or movies and stuff like that. So I had to kind of like take a break from that for a few months to reset my foundation and really define what makes me happy. And so, though I knew I had this podcast like 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
And I only did one season of it. And then like it got too much. I was doing it on my own. I didn't have all this stuff that I have now. And so that was one of the things that made me happy. And I didn't know what else, you know, besides like playing the drums or, you know, something like that. Or martial arts. And so I started with this. Okay. And then through this, I found other avenues of what makes me happy. But I'm still not at a point where I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do as a career and stuff like that. This podcast is, if I had to do this full time, I would do it.
Okay.
This is what makes me happy.
Gotcha.
Talking to people about deep conversations and figuring out what this life is.
So let me ask you, are you okay mentally and physically? Like, how was your upbringing and everything? How are you as a person?
Good. I mean, like, I changed my life at 24. You know, I grew up with an abusive dad. I got hit every single day.
You want to talk about that?
I mean, it was just, you know, now thinking back, and it was the only way my dad knew how to raise me.
Okay.
You know, I was a hyper kid, and he came from, he's a boomer. He's like he's born in 1946. Okay. So he's like one of the first boomers.
Okay.
And so even though he was my dad, it was like a grandparent almost. And so yeah, growing up with an abusive dad, and then my mom and my sister had to, I would say essentially deported, in order for them to finish getting their green card and their citizenship. So they had to go away, and I had to live with my dad for 2 years.
Okay.
Which is when like I had to grow up fast, you know, learning how to cook, clean, do everything. And then my mom and my sister came back on Christmas night, 2 years later.
Okay.
And my sister was like, yeah, I used to be all talkative and stuff like that. But when they came back, I was like just quiet, you know, stuff like that. So, and then there was always, like you said, there was always this like lack of acceptance.
Yeah. And do you remember like a beating that you got that you was like why? Like, is it one that like stick out to you?
Every day. Okay. Every day it was like that. Leave a fork in the sink, beat. You know? Wow. I was like eating lunch after school. My dad came home. He saw there was like a mess in the kitchen, which it wasn't really a mess. It was just me making a sandwich and stuff like that. Beat.
So let me ask you, how did you deal with that? Like, did it stay with you forever? Because I see that you're still talking about it today. And how did you like deal with it?
For a long time, I went inward.
Okay.
So I turtled up.
Okay.
Right. I was quiet a lot. That's why I was drinking and smoking a lot in high school.
Okay.
Because, drinking especially would make me be more open and fun and stuff like that. And so I was doing a lot of that in high school. And how I got through it, honestly, at 24 is when I got through it. I changed my life completely. Okay. I was completely negative. I was going to work and home, and I was scared to go out. Okay. Like even my best friends would invite me out, and I'm like, nah, I'm okay. Yeah. And so I got through it by the law of attraction. Okay. By learning about how that works and stuff like that, and having a positive mindset and stuff like that. And that was like the beginning of my journey. Okay. From then on.
Okay. So once you came out your shell, was you like more confident, or was the alcohol still playing a role into?
No, alcohol. Actually, by the senior year, is those little, that voice in your head. And I just, like, one day I woke up after a party and just looked around. People were sleeping, beer cans everywhere. Yeah, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Okay, so that was like one of those moments where you was like, okay, you snapped out of it and was like,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's as far as the drinking and stuff like that goes. And but as far as my confidence and all that stuff, I learned. So I learned the law of attraction, and then I met somebody who was studying the law of attraction, but he was also studying how to be a pickup artist. Okay. And so, to me, a lot of people take that as, picking up girls and stuff like that. If you don't know what a pickup artist is. I took it as, let me learn how to communicate, because I was 24, I was always turtled up, and I didn't know how to communicate. Okay. I had to go back to the basics of life, and like, how do I communicate? How do I have a conversation with people? Yeah. And so he would have a band that would go out and play, and I would go with them. Okay. And the whole time my job was going around the room and just talking to people. Groups, one-on-ones, whatever it is. And through that, I found how to communicate.
Gotcha.
And stuff like that. So
that was good. That was good, man. Glad that you overcame that. Do you use any of that stuff in today to help you overcome anything?
Yeah. I use that every day, pretty much. Okay. That's why I love doing this. Yeah. Because like communicating doesn't come natural to me. Yeah.
And I would have never thought that, being that you have the podcast and everything. So that's good to know, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there wouldn't even think that about you as well. Right, yeah. You married with kids, anything?
No.
What you waiting on?
Well, I got a girl now,
Yeah. Okay. How long y'all been together?
Not long. It's like 6 months.
Oh, okay.
But
6 months.
It's honestly one of those things I never had in a relationship where it's like when you know. Yeah. Yeah. And this is when you know. Okay. And so we've already talked about marriage, kids, and all the things.
Because that was gonna be my next question.
Yeah. Okay. And so like now it's just a matter of, when do I propose? Okay. So that's where we're both at.
Yeah. Like and when you get married, you plan on married here, or you don't want to talk about it just yet?
As far as like the wedding?
The wedding and stuff. Do you believe in weddings, or?
I mean, for me, like, I rather spend money on like a honeymoon.
I'm glad you said that, because me and my wife, we just went straight to the courthouse and got married. Right. It doesn't. We're not about to pay all this money for these people to have a good time. Right. It was just more about the money. All that money in one day, and it's just for a couple of hours. So we just decided to go get married at the courthouse and stuff. Yeah. So
which is
I'm
a
glad
lot
you
easier.
brought that up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
so
like, she
wanted to know that we wasn't the only one to think of it like that.
Exactly. Yeah. No. I think there's more ways you could utilize the money. Yeah. But she wants a wedding, not a big wedding, just a small wedding, 50. Yeah. 50 or less. So yeah, we're gonna. We talked about Mexico. Okay. We also talked about like Asheville. Area. Yeah. Okay. Like, the Biltmore area. Yeah.
And the Asheville, is that more like the mountains and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll see what happens. Okay. Still in the beginning stages.
Kids. How many kids do you want?
2.
2 kids, boy and a girl.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. White picket fence and all that.
Okay. And you know, we're both getting at that age where it's like, you know,
it's now or never.
It's now or never kind of thing.
I don't feel like that, but I mean, because you still look kind of young.
That's my bloodline.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that Amazon jungle.
Yeah. But you still look kind of young and everything. But it's funny that you say that far as the whole, you know, you don't believe in spending the money on the wedding and everything. You guys live together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Renting, gonna purchase a house.
She has her own house.
Okay.
So I moved in with her.
Smart man.
We both love where we're at, you know. We both financially think the same.
Okay.
Even our financial future, what it looks like, it's the same. Stuff like that. So
what is it that you guys both do for work for the steady income and everything?
She gives me like a few sentences when she says this, but it's more or less like a project manager for clinical trials and stuff like that. Okay. But she wants to start her own business as well, as far as like a consulting business and stuff like that.
And that's a good business too.
Yeah,
that's a good business.
So, and obviously I have my photography and videography, and I also do audio engineering on the side as a contractor and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. So you bringing in the bread and butter.
Yeah, they called me the Renaissance guy. Like before COVID happened, I had 5 streams of income.
Wow.
And, you know, because I'm a professional actor as well. So I was a teacher. I was coaching and taping actors for major TV and film.
Okay.
And acting, and then audio engineering, and this photo and video business.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that was hard when COVID hit.
Yeah. You ever work with like in any of the big name people in the industry?
No.
Okay.
Not yet. As far as like for photo and video?
Yeah, like just
no.
Okay.
Not
it's on its way. It's definitely on its way.
Yeah. I mean, like I think about it and like I feel like I'm getting to a point where I just love doing photo and video work to help out.
Okay.
But when money's involved, like it becomes a different thing.
Yeah.
Obviously if I don't know you, I'm gonna charge you.
Yeah.
But I like doing things for my friends.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, but even still, and I'm glad you said that part as well. You really don't want to, and you know, no offense or anything like that, but if your friends and everybody support you the way that they supposed to, this is how you know who's your friend and who's not. You just don't want to just be giving everybody the hookup. If they honestly support you, you shouldn't have to drop your prices and stuff. And that's the same way. I'm the exact same way because my sister has a photo business as well. My baby sister has a photo business as well, and she always be trying to like, oh, I'm not gonna charge you. No, you treat me as if I'm your customer. Like I hired you for a service. Don't try to give me no discounts, none of that. If I'm gonna call you and ask you for your services, I want you to treat me the same way you would treat a customer. That's how I look at that.
That's true.
And I understand where you're coming from, but try to do it more like for a birthday gift or a present or something like that, because that's when you separate your friends and the people that just want to be around you just to be around you. I talked about this before. You know, I have, you know, trust issues, and I don't just trust any and everybody. But I had to separate people that was honestly my friends and people that was just around to just either get a come up or looking to get something off of me. You get what I'm saying? So to be honest with you, when I call somebody a friend, just believe they're a friend, and I don't have a lot of them. You get what I'm saying? I'm not really like, you may go to my social medias and see that I have a lot of followers, but if you look at how many people I'm following, I try not to really follow that many people. Whether they follow me or not, I'm just a loyal person at the end of the day, and I believe it. I believe in loyalty, and like one thing about me, I don't never do anything to where I let somebody have that advantage of me to where they can throw something up in my face. So that's just me. Everybody's not like that, but if I come to you and you tell me, hey, normally I'll charge this, but for you, I'm going to do it for this. No, charge me your regular prices, and
yeah.
we go from there. Because when I come to you, I don't want you to feel like, okay, I gotta give you a hookup or something because I know you or you my friend or anything like that. No, I want you to support me the same way. If you had something going on, I will support you. So,
right. Yeah, it's like one of those things, man, because like it's hard in the photo and video business.
Yeah.
Because things are changing so much.
Yeah.
With TikTok and all that stuff.
Yeah. And TikTok blew up out
of
nowhere.
Yeah. And then like the video quality and the photo quality, more video quality just doesn't matter as much anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like it's also that transition period of trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
And like now that people know that, you know, it's more about the B2B business.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing where the people who are going to have the money for it are the businesses instead of the B2C.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. And far as social media go as well, it long form content, it used to be the thing back in the day, but now it's short form content. If you can't get a person attention span within the first 3 to 8 seconds, they on to the next video. And you know, TikTok is all short video. So if you click on a TikTok video and if it's not getting your attention within those first couple of seconds, what we do, we swipe to the next one. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah. So I mean, luckily I do have this long form, but can be clipped down to short form.
Yeah.
As you know. So like that's
I mean, this what you're doing now, and like I say, you own to something, man, and don't give it up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be disappointed in you if you end up getting it up. So I'm
Good.
telling you now, like
come at me if you see something like that.
Keep going, man. Keep going. I'm gonna text your phone like, hey man, what's going on, man? I haven't seen no video, or you know, you must be working on a bigger project, and if you be like, hey man, I just stop. I'm like, man, what? Like, you know, so you need people like that that's gonna be on top of you to help push you and see you succeed. I wish that the world was like that, because we would be a so much better place than what we is now. But
that's true.
Everything is just all over the place right now, man. So you gotta get in where you fit in. You know.
Right now, I think this is what I really want to primarily focus on.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, still doing the photo and video work. When it comes around. But I want this. I want this.
Yeah. It's gonna get there, and it's on its way, man.
I got some ideas already. You know.
Yeah. And I mean, long as you coming up with ideas and stuff, the fact that you're even thinking about ideas, you on the right track. Because I remember when I picked up, you know, the camera for YouTube and with 0 subscribers, you know, I'm sitting there talking to a camera. It felt weird in the beginning, which sometimes I still be like, dang, I'm really talking to, but you're really talking to an audience. I try to treat everybody the same, and I see that same thing in you, man. When you upload a video, it may not go as far as we predicted in our head, but we study just keeping forward, keep pushing with it, man.
Keep pushing, keep tweaking. Little things here and there.
And not only that, you learn things as you go, and you may see something in a video that you upload or did, and you may see a video and you may be like, dang, I want to learn how to do that, and you just keep getting better and better and better at it. So
one thing I'm really good at is video editing. Like
I
I can confidently say that I am good at video.
You're good with the camera in general, man. I've seen your work. I had work done by you, and that's why I always used to tell you, like, work your magic. I know you're gonna work your magic, like
right.
And not only that, I reached out to you and was like, hey man, I need this by this date. And I mean, you was on it, man. I don't know where you got the strength and everything from, but you was on it and you delivered, and I was more than happy and satisfied with your work. So
I'm glad you
really
liked
do
the video,
appreciate it. We still recording?
Yeah.
Hey man, anything that Oliver have going on, Oliver, where can they find you at?
They can find me at Inspired Voices on YouTube, or just type in my name, Oliver Riera, Riera, and Inspired Voices podcast on Instagram.
Yeah, because
and TikTok.
He really do inspire a lot of people in our area. He's, you know, really motivational. He's bringing us together, and I really do appreciate that. I told you that once before. I'm not gonna stop telling you that, because we need more people like you. It's a lot of people that's came through North Carolina, but they not doing it the way that I see you doing it. Like you you putting people on, and you putting us on your podcast. You giving us a opportunity and chance to speak our voice and let things out that we thought we was gonna have to die with. You get what I'm saying? Because some of the stuff that I talked about today, you know, a lot of people didn't know. I'm pretty sure my mom gonna end up watching this video as well. And
calling you afterwards.
Huh?
And then calling you afterwards. I'm sorry.
But you gave me an opportunity to speak my truth. I'm even more at peace. Like I felt good driving up here, but leaving here today, I'm feeling even better because I was able to get some of that stuff off my chest.
You feel like it was like therapy?
Yeah, definitely therapy, definitely. And I will say this, man. Call on somebody, man, and somebody that you can trust, somebody that you can vent to, because we all don't have that outer voice that we can let out and everything. And I was able to do that up here today. I was able to let this voice out. I felt like I was able to be heard by my mom, even though this video haven't came out yet. I felt like she was sitting right there, and my pops was sitting right there, and I just wanted to let them know how proud I was of them. And even though I went through the things that I went through, it took me to go through that to get to where I am today. And I just appreciate everything you got going on for the community, everything that you're doing, everything that you bringing to the podcast, everybody that you're putting on the podcast. I just want to say thank you. And you have some amazing things on the way. And I'm going to end it at that because we were supposed to end this a long time ago.
I appreciate it, man. It's all about perspective, man.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get people to see different perspectives of life.
Yeah.
Because there's always somebody out there that needs it.
Yeah. Appreciate it again.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Right.